The night blanketed the command center with smoke and the distant glow of burning vehicles. The atmosphere was heavy, each breath seemed like a struggle. Footsteps echoed, radios crackled, and a tense hum of anxiety filled the room. Suddenly, the door creaked open. She entered, Rania Khan. Simple tactical clothing, hair tightly tied, eyes sharp and focused, exuding the weight of experience. Even the most hardened officers froze. Major Aris, bent over a map, lifted his gaze. His eyes met hers, and for a moment, time seemed to stop. "Rania, you're really here," he whispered, a mixture of relief and tension in his voice. Commander Fahad scowled. "Does this woman even understand what's happening here? This is war, not a classroom." Rania didn't avert her gaze from the map. "The real threat lies where you see nothing," she said, pointing to a hidden point on the battlefield map. Silence fell. No one dared to speak. Aris stepped forward. "Let her speak. She sees what we are missing." Rania leaned closer to the map. "The enemy is using a diversion. The main strike comes from the rear. If you don't move the third unit here, you'll lose many lives." Fahad paled. Aris whispered, "We follow her instructions." Rania nodded. "Then listen carefully. War is not about shouting or giving orders. It's precision, strategy, and attention to detail." Enemy fire grew louder, shaking the ground. Glass rattled in the command center. Yet Rania remained calm, observing every detail on the map as if she could anticipate every enemy move. "Aris," she said without looking up, "take the second unit around the flank. If you arrive in 30 seconds, you'll intercept the strike." Aris nodded and moved toward the exit, but his gaze kept meeting hers. A silent understanding passed between them, trust, experience, and memories of fallen soldiers they had buried together. The battle intensified. Soldiers followed her orders instinctively, sensing her leadership. Fahad stood aside, now with respect, though his pride still fought his acknowledgement. "Commander Rania, new intel from reconnaissance," shouted a radio operator. "Show me," she said calmly. "If the enemy hasn't fully retreated, we'll have to adjust our strategy." Aris watched her closely, noticing the way she came alive, transforming into the commander whose decisions could change the outcome of the battle. The battle raged on. Explosions shook the ground around the command center. Flames licked the hills in the distance. Smoke filled the air. Soldiers dropped to the ground. Orders came over the radio in rapid succession. Rania stood over the map, calmly tracking all points of attack and defense. "The enemy relies on fear as a weapon. We fight with strategy, not brute force," she said, tracing movement lines of their troops. Aris observed every movement. He saw how she calculated timing and distances, predicting the enemy's next moves. Her calm spread through the team. "We follow your command," Aris said softly, confirming what he always felt. She was their only hope. Within minutes, the tide turned. The enemy strike that could have decimated their position was intercepted with almost no casualties. Rania's strategy proved flawless. The first light of dawn slowly crept over the horizon, turning the battlefield into a wash of red and orange hues. Smoke from burning vehicles lingered in the air, and the acrid smell of gunpowder mixed with the morning chill. The enemy attack had been stopped, but the aftermath was tangible: scorched earth, shattered vehicles, and scattered gear of fallen soldiers. Losses were minimal, only 2 wounded, thanks to the precision of Rania's strategy, yet the weight of what could have been hung heavily over the command center. Aris removed his helmet, revealing a streak of blood matted into his hair, and wiped sweat from his brow. His uniform was torn and dusted with soot. He exhaled slowly, almost in disbelief. "Everything went exactly as you predicted," he said quietly, almost to himself. Rania approached the table, her boots silent on the concrete floor. She scanned the map again, tracing the lines of enemy withdrawal and friendly movements. Even with victory, she remained vigilant. "We can't afford to relax," she said softly. "The second phase could begin at any moment. We need contingency positions ready, reinforcements in motion, and backup communications secure." Fahad approached her, now visibly subdued, respect evident in his posture. "Commander Rania, I admit I underestimated you. I should have listened from the start." Rania lifted a hand to stop him. "Apologies do not matter here. Actions matter. Today, your actions followed strategy. That is what counts." Aris stepped closer, his voice low, almost hesitant. "You're staying with us, aren't you?" I mean, after this, together we can coordinate the next moves. Rania met his gaze, a faint, almost imperceptible smile playing on her lips. We'll see. War rarely offers simple answers. But today, I'm here, with you. They moved together to the large map, their figures casting long shadows under the dim lights of the command center. Aris noticed the way she studied every grid line, every contour of the terrain. It wasn't just tactical, it was personal. Every decision carried the weight of lives saved and lives lost. Outside, soldiers emerged cautiously, scanning the horizon. Their expressions were a mix of awe and relief. They had fought under her guidance, followed her commands, and witnessed her ability to anticipate danger with almost supernatural precision. Rania, standing tall among them, was no longer just a leader, she was the embodiment of strategy and courage. Aris leaned slightly closer, lowering his voice, but it carried between the two of them alone. You really came back, for this, for them, for me. Rania's eyes softened, briefly revealing the woman behind the commander. Memories of previous battles, of losses, of moments shared in silence, flickered across her expression. I come back when everything is on the edge of collapse, she said quietly. When timing matters, when lives are at stake, I return. The morning sun broke through the clouds, illuminating the battlefield and casting the command center in sharp light. The enemy had been repelled, but the war was far from over. Yet, standing there with Aris beside her, Rania projected calm confidence. She wasn't just a strategist, she was a force of nature, a beacon for those who followed her. Prepare the next phase, she commanded, tracing potential enemy paths on the map. I want forward scouts in position, reinforcement teams ready, and every point covered. Aris, stay by my side. He nodded. Their silent connection was more than words could convey. It was trust forged through countless battles, respect intertwined with unspoken history, and a promise that they would face what came next together. And at that moment, the command center realized something. Rania Khan was no longer the woman who seemed fragile. She was the leader who could change the course of the battle, the war, and the lives of every soldier under her command. The battlefield had shifted, not just because of her strategy, but because of her presence. She turned to Aris, eyes steady and resolute. War will continue. The enemy will strike again. But we will be ready. Together. Aris met her gaze, a quiet determination in his eyes. Together. The sun rose higher, casting golden light over the troops, the shattered vehicles, and the recovering battlefield. For the first time, in the quiet after chaos, there was a sense of control, a sense of hope. And at the center of it all, Rania Khan stood, unyielding, unwavering, unstoppable. If you like this story, please like, subscribe, comment, and share so I can create even better stories.